Hey, how's it going? It's our first week of school, and we are well on our way, just starting this really exciting field of science. It's going to be a pretty fun year. Well, in this video, our second one in the series, I want to talk about how this whole class is going to end. What is it going to look like? Where are we going to be when we finish this class up? So today, at the very beginning, let's talk about the end. Alright, well here's our targets, and actually it's just one target. So when you're filling out your Cornell note sheet, you're just going to want to write one thing right there, or in that first big ideas column. And what it's asking you, and what we're going to talk about today, is the overall goals of my class. If we had a giant target objectives for my class, what would they be? They're really easy, and there's only 3 of them. Alright, so we'll move on. Let's look at it. Well, have you ever been lost? It's a really bad feeling. I remember one time my dogs had actually made their way outside of my backyard. It was really scary. They were running around and I couldn't find them. And it felt really strange in the pit of your stomach. You're really worried. It wasn't a really good feeling. You know, sometimes I see that look kind of on students. You might be in a class and things are going and you're thinking, well, what's going on? I don't understand why we're learning this. It's kind of worrisome. Why am I doing this? How am I going to use it? Well, today the goal is for us to be able to understand why we're learning this. What's the overall goal? All right, so these 3 objectives are what are going to tell us why are we studying this. So in class, you never should have to ask me the question, what's the point? Why are we doing it, Mr. Lane? So let's take a look at them. They're really easy. We're going to write them down, and we're going to refer to them throughout the year so you can kind of see how they relate. So here's our first one. Really easy. I want you to understand the processes and cycles that make the earth and continue to shape the earth. Right? This is all the stuff that you can get out of a textbook or you get in the lab or in the class, and it's all the subjects. Things like earthquakes and volcanoes and plate tectonics and weather and climate and the water cycle and astronomy and all that other really cool, awesome stuff. I want you to be able to learn that stuff. Really interesting. Now, that's kind of why we're here. Now, there's some bigger goals we're going to get to, but I want you to be able to understand that. Well, how are we going to measure that? Well, at the very end of the class, one of our last activities is we might go out and we're going to look at some of the landscapes here in Sandy. And I want you, and you should be able to understand what makes Sandy and our area look the way it is. Why is Oregon the way it is with volcanoes and hills and deserts and all the other features of Oregon in our area? So, the goal is that you are able to understand what makes them, and that's how we're going to measure it. The second goal we're going to look at is I want you to start to view the world through science. How does science see the world around them? And it's different than any other field. Artists see it one way, theologians and religion might see it a different way, and we all see it differently. And how does science see the world around us? Right? Really, I can say it this way. I want you to become a scientist. And how do I measure that? How do I know if you become a scientist? Well, that's actually a really easy one. Are you becoming curious? Really, science starts with being able to ask questions. So, by looking at the type of questions you have around the world around you, you can start to see, are you starting to become a scientist? And I think everyone will. I'm really not worried about this one, because by nature, I believe we're all scientists. We're all curious and want to understand how the world works. So I think we have a low bar here, but we can get it. So we're going to see if we can view the world through science. The last one, and probably by far the most important goal, is I want us to appreciate the earth, the universe, and for us to understand the cosmos, your place in the cosmos. Now this is a pretty lofty goal. It's pretty high. I mean, that's asking a lot from a 6th grader. But I want us to start to think about it. How do I affect the world around me? How do I affect the environment? How do I relate to a rock that may be millions or billions of years old, that went through giant processes deep in the earth and came up to the surface? How does that relate to me? Why should I care? Well, that's what we're looking at. I want you to understand, and really this is something new in my class, we're going to start to see and appreciate the earth around us and see if we can start to make ties. Really, this is the easiest shown in a picture, and we're going to be doing this actually in our next activity. In fact, it's this picture right here. This is a picture called the pale blue dot, made very famous by Carl Sagan. In fact, what I want you to do after watching this video is I want you to click on the next one underneath it. It's called the pale blue dot. It's not mine, and I want you to watch it. Because in class, it's going to be really set us up, so really important. So I want you to start to think about the pale blue dot and how that affects science and how that changes things. All right, so there we are. 3 simple goals. We're going to be looking at, do you understand what the processes that make up the earth and make the world around you? We're going to start to view the world through a scientific eyes, growing curiosity and asking questions. And then we're going to start to develop an understanding for the world around us. Understanding how you fit in the universe and cosmos. Again, a very lofty goal, but we're going to make it. So, remember how these videos work. If you're not understanding something, go backwards, stop, watch it again, hit pause, take a break, come back to it, right? But always remember just to keep moving forward. See ya.